helping somebody else to quit drinking. Somebody else asked me this. I can't remember when it was recently, but anyway, this is a question that I get quite a lot. It was actually I was reading an article for a video I'm doing on functioning alcoholic, and just that word and that notion of being a functioning alcoholic within the alcoholic mindset. And it was something that just rolled me up the wrong way about the way this person had written this article. You know, like helping somebody else was such an easy thing to do, or such a simple idea that all you have to do is tell somebody else that they've got a problem, and hey presto, you're good to go, you know. And it's such bullshit. And this was from an article from a reputable medical website, but what can you expect? Anyway, this one is how to help somebody else. The problem is that I don't think you can help somebody else, right? The only thing that somebody can do is to help themselves, right? And if you want any proof about this, then just look at your own journey through alcohol and ask yourself, how many times did you actually listen? I mean, when somebody says something to you, the instant reaction is going to always be one of defensiveness. You're defending yourself, you're defending your own life, you're defending your own ego, you're defending your own pride, whatever it is. That's the instant reaction. Maybe you think about it later on, and maybe enough people say it to you, and then you really start to think about it. But it's only really when you get consequences that are causing you enough pain that you really decide to change. So if you didn't listen to somebody who's telling you, what did it make you think about them, and why would you expect anyone else to listen to you in the same thing? You know, most of our trying to change the world happens when you first stop drinking alcohol. There's so many people that get it into their heads that they want other people to stop drinking alcohol. You know, mostly when I did it, it was because I didn't want to see alcohol around me. So that was the motivation for me. I sort of got up on my soapbox. I'm still doing it in this form, but hopefully I'm listening to people who are wanting to stop, or at least contemplating stopping. This was to people, to my family, to Esther at the beginning. She didn't want to listen to me, and you know, people get sick of it. But it is because it's from a personal point of view, I think, that you just don't want to see the alcohol around you. But the problem is at the beginning that you've got no experience to back it up. So what you're saying is just completely, it's just the same stuff that's coming out over and over. But like I say, most people are in denial. One of the biggest questions that I used to get when I told people that I didn't drink, because at the beginning we were still doing the same thing. We were going to the pub. It was the only place we could watch football. We didn't have couldn't watch the football in our own house, so we had to go to the pub, and then going to restaurants with people, old friends that we used to drink with. So we tried to do this. I tried to do this for several months after I stopped. The big question was, or when I stopped, or I said to people I'd stopped drinking alcohol, was, you don't drink? What do you do? And that says everything about them. It says everything about the habit. It says everything about the alcohol. And most people then immediately go into a defensive thing and say, oh, well, I don't drink that much myself. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know, that it's one of those things. The same thing when I told people I wasn't eating meat anymore. You know, what do you eat? Like, that was the only thing there, you know. One of those things. But watch people when they're drinking. When you don't drink, it becomes one of those things that you start to see the drug in the alcohol. You stop seeing the alcohol for the wine. You stop seeing the wine and the beer and all this kind of stuff, and you start seeing people, the reactions. You start seeing the poisoning of people. You start seeing the brainlessness of it. You know, the depressing attitude. You know, people try to disguise it, but it's one of those things that, you know, under the influence of a drug, it's sort of, they go in waves up and down, this wave of, you know, being lively and trying to be lively, and then going down and stuff. So, but the only way that you can really help somebody else is if they're already open to learning. You know, people who are watching these videos, they're open to learning. You know, even people who make the mistakes over and over again, they're still open to learning, and they're the people that you can teach. They're the people that you can help. You know, alcohol itself, stopping drinking alcohol, can be a polarizing thing. You know, like there's so much polarizing happening nowadays, but it's always been a polarizing thing. You know, those who think of themselves as victims of alcohol and those who don't. Those who see alcohol as a lifetime problem, as an internal problem, as a problem with their DNA, a problem with their upbringing, whatever. And those who don't. People that think they have power over alcohol, and those who don't. Right? So look at your own motivations first if you're trying to help somebody else. Just look at what it is. Is it them or you're trying to help? If somebody doesn't want to change, they're not going to change. They won't change, and you know you can actually set somebody back because it can make them more firm in their own position of drinking. I'm not saying that you can never say anything. I think, like I said, if you've got the more people that are saying something to these people, even just one-off comments, but it always comes off better. You know, there's an old quote in Ireland which is nothing as pure as a reformed whore, and it's the same thing here. You know, people who have stopped drinking, they come across as being, you know, you're sort of reformed, and yeah, you're trying to change everyone else. So there's always an excuse if somebody doesn't want to change. So anyway, that's that one for that one.